Back one more time. Back one more time. This is Yafeuh Balogun, the street reporter. Um, Here to talk about Courtney Clenny. Courtney Clenny, of course, as you may be aware, earlier this year, 2022, Courtney Clenny has stabbed her boyfriend. And not only did she stab him, but she basically uh, gave him a fatal wound that ultimately murdered him. Of course, this particular incident made national and very much so international headlines simply because Courtney Clenny was an OnlyFans star and very notable, very known individual on Instagram as well. And so she had quite a following to the tune that at one particular time she made up to $3 million online. That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. So she had quite a bit of following at that time, and so of course she had some incidents with her then boyfriend, who actually there were several incidents prior, which ultimately led up to this incident where she ended up stabbing him. So basically, what we are observing is essentially the interview by the police. Now, take note of the police tactics, but also take note of them more or less kind of uh, probably being a little bit more friendlier with her than, let's just say, if you or I were in the same situation. So I wanted to be able to show this, just kind of give folks an opportunity to see how the interview process works with the police as far as the homicide division, but also at the same time, look how relaxed in terms of the police as this situation is carried on. Because ultimately, after this interview, she still was free and let go, even when they told her, in fact, that her boyfriend at that time was murdered as well, was stabbed, and she actually admitted that to do it. So this is quite a situation. Again, this made national, international headlines. There was a lot of issues, of course, that a lot of folks had with this particular case because she was let free for an extended period of time. And what I found out here recently, of course, since she's been brought back in and now she's uh, back in jail awaiting trial, she attempted to get out again. And it was only because of the public pressure. If it had not been for public pressure, she probably wouldn't still. She wouldn't be in jail. She'd probably still be out. Probably wouldn't be much of a case, and they would probably wouldn't be an indictment, things of that nature. But it was because the people across the country, across the world, were so upset by this particular case, just because how she were able to, get certain favoritism as far as prosecution is concerned. People were upset about it. So I won't be able to watch just a little bit of the police tactics here, a little bit of some of the questioning, a little bit of how her response is. You can see a lot of narcissistic response that she had at that particular time that basically made her feel as though she were entitled. So this was a case much more also about entitlement and for a person to feel like that that this is something that they should have. This is the space that they should have as the person that she is and became to be. So we're gonna watch it, just a little bit of it, just to get a little bit of taste. Again, this is the case of Courtney Clenny. Again, she's the individual that ultimately killed her boyfriend earlier in 2022, April of 2022. Again, prior to that, they had some incidences, domestic type incidences prior to that, which probably would have made one think that, hey, maybe I shouldn't be in this relationship. Maybe I should consider something else. Maybe I should do something different. But we definitely shouldn't be together. And so let's see what happens. Just give me a brief second. Let's see.
No rush, you still wouldn't be able to see him at this point, obviously.
So what?
You wouldn't be able to see him at this point, so
Fine.
that way you don't have to, you're still working, you're still taking care of him, it's a process. So I don't
I just want to be
anyone,
there
yeah.
when I can.
So, yeah, once we'll talk about, we'll talk about it, okay?
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
Thanks. My apologies for being absolutely fucking covered in blood.
Listen, you don't have to apologize, okay? I completely understand. All right? Things happen, and you can't control it. Okay? So, you don't have
Look at the demeanor of law enforcement. Look how he just came at her, just real nice, real encouraging. I almost felt like as though he was welcoming her in her home. So this is kind of an amazing thing here.
to apologize for it. All right? Detective Racino, okay? And this is my partner, Sergeant Rodriguez. Okay? Today's Sunday, April 3, and the time is 7:36 p.m. All right? What's your first name?
Courtney.
Courtney. Can you spell it for me, please?
C-O-U-R-T-N-E-Y.
Okay. And your last name?
Clenney. C-L-E-N-N-E-Y.
Okay. What is your date of birth?
4/21/96.
When was your birthday? 19.
It's oh really? When is your birthday?
The 13th.
My boyfriend's just the 12th.
Oh, really?
Turns 28.
Super close. This is in a
Assuming
row.
that he.
Well, he's still in the hospital right now, so okay. Just take a breather, okay?
The thing about it is the police at this particular time actually more than likely know his condition, but they're trying to basically kind of set her at ease so they can have this conversation about kind of what happened, what led up to it. But again, this is a very heartwarming demeanor that the police have at this particular time. The two detectives basically wanting to get her to talk about what happened, kind of give a little bit of her background, and so they'll kind of have an idea of what led up to this situation.
I know this must be very rough for you right now.
No, we were supposed to go to the park with my dogs today. Like, I just did not how I expected this to. Sorry.
And,
That's not what we're talking about. You asked me my birthday.
yes.
Okay, what's the next question?
Okay. Are you currently living there?
Yes.
Yeah. The address is 3131 Northeast 7th Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what apartment was it?
2201.
2201. How long have you guys have you been living there?
Since the first and second week of January.
Okay. Oh, this year. 2022.
Yeah, we moved here January this year together from Boston.
From Boston?
From Boston.
From Boston. Oh, okay. When did you guys come to Miami from Boston?
We visited last year in March, and we loved it. And we travel all the time together. We like the beach.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always wanted to live here. So he was like, he wanted to move to London. I wanted to move here. And I said, maybe we should start in the U.S.
Yeah.
And
then
like
go to
that,
London.
and we did it. So.
Okay. How long have
Her
you
boyfriend wanted to move to London. She wants to move to Miami. Take note.
been together?
About 2 years.
About 2
A year
years?
and a half to 2 years, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is he okay?
He's still at the hospital. They're still,
I know.
monitoring him and talking to him. So we're waiting.
Oh my God! So he didn't even have to have surgery.
Well, I don't know. They're still doing X-rays and stuff like that. So I don't know yet. I'm waiting to hear a response.
That's all I have to know. Thank
Okay.
God.
So
That's all I need.
we'll get to that in a little bit.
Okay.
And once we're done, I'll go talk to them again and see what's the update. Okay. All right. So you said 1.5 years to 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you said that today you guys were supposed to go to the park.
Mm-hmm. We were. Well, I'll just let you ask questions and I'll answer.
No, you can tell me whatever you want. You can tell me whenever you want.
Yeah, we just had just gotten back together. I had broken up with him, and then he came back the last like 2 nights, and everything was perfect. And then start like to an argument, and I ended up getting scared, and I think that I overreacted, or not overreacted necessarily, but reacted, and I just didn't know exactly what might happen. But yeah, we were right before anything happened. We were going to walk the dogs down to this park over by like the Paramount, which has like the beach volleyball and basketball court and all that. We're gonna walk them over there and let my dog Ranger play soccer. That was my plan for the day, and then go.
How old are you?
To the movie. Or to go to a movie tonight in Miami Beach. My dogs are 8 years old.
8 years old. Oh, okay. Both of them? Oh. You've had them all 8 years. Babies?
Yeah.
I love those. Super smart.
Yeah.
You guys lived in Austin before here, right? Between the first and second week of January, you guys moved to Miami. You guys stop anywhere before coming to Miami, or did you move somewhere else between Austin and Miami, or you went straight to Miami?
We drove the U-Haul from Austin to Miami. Took us like 2 days. I didn't drive one bit because he went the whole way. So like a day and a half, 2 days. No, we just stopped a bunch of places.
Does he?
He does. He has.
Yeah.
He has his mom and grandma. He's closest to.
Mom and grandma?
Mm-hmm.
We're here in Miami, or?
They live in Dallas. I think his grandma they may still be in Nigeria, because they visit a lot, but I think that they're back in Dallas.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
He has a brother that lives in I think Houston. I don't know where his sister lives.
Do you happen to know off the top of your head their phone number, or?
None of theirs, no.
No?
No.
Do you have it on your phone number, on your phone? Or?
I think that I would have his mom on my phone for sure, and then maybe his grandma.
Okay. What's his mom's name?
You know, he told me. I think I'm terrible. I really
yeah. That's like remembering.
And I met her multiple times. I've been to her house, and I still didn't tell you. That's pretty bad.
I mean, how many times have you seen her?
4 times.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's spread apart, right?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't imagine to like remember somebody's name that easy. I'm really bad at remembering names too. So again. How about his brother? You know his brother's name? Or? No?
He is very, like, not, I guess, like, too.
Think about it for a second. She's been with this person for 3 years, and she says she doesn't know his people's name. Just think about it in the context of you having a relationship with a person for a couple of years. Obviously, you more than likely know very close family members' name, people that you know that who they care about the most. So this is just kind of interesting, kind of a self portrait of kind of what the situation is, that she's so much into herself that she doesn't know the name of his family members, and this is supposedly a boyfriend that she had for 2 or 3 years. So just put that in context to everything else that sort of happened in this particular case, which ultimately led to his stabbing.
Thorough we're talking about. I mean, that's not really probably like the word, but not like too thorough. I feel like I calmed down a little bit once you told me like they're just like talking to him. Okay, so I can talk to you. They're like, he's not really like that thorough or something. He doesn't really talk as much about his family as I do mine. I talk about my family all the time.
Okay. Where's your family?
In Austin.
All in Austin?
All in Austin, yeah.
You have a like big family, small family?
I am the most, I'm the closest with my immediate family. My mom, my dad, and my little sister.
Okay.
So not really that big of a family.
Okay. What's your mom's name?
Deborah.
Deborah. And your dad's?
Kim.
Kim.
Mm-hmm.
What are their last names?
Clenny.
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 And your sister?
Morgan.
Same nothing. You ever need us to take a break? You know, because I know it's rough, you know, with everything going on, but we need to take a break. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you guys for giving me water and tissue.
Definitely. Okay, so do you guys work here in Miami, or do you guys have your own business?
I do social media, so I'm an influencer, I guess is what call it. Yeah, I'm an influencer. And he does stocks and crypto.
What do you focus on, like Instagram or social media apps?
Instagram, only again.
Okay.
It's just, yeah.
It
pays the bills.
What's your Instagram?
At Courtney Taylor.
Huh?
At Courtney Taylor. Taylor's spelled T-A-I-L-L-O-R. T-A-I-L-L-O-R.
L-O-R.
Mm-hmm.
And what is it that he does?
Stocks and crypto.
Stocks and crypto.
He just has stocks and does crypto.
Yeah, so he's pretty good with numbers and all of that. Yeah. And he's done that since you've known him, or?
I mean, as far as I know, he's done it since he was 19, and he's 27.
Okay.
So he's pretty damn good at it. That's, I guess, compared to other people that do it.
Yeah. And how long were you guys planning on being in Miami, or before going to London? Or?
I don't think London was ever really going to happen. I don't think I would ever do that. But yeah. Move.
Yeah, that was something that I think he wanted to do. As you said earlier, just a moment ago, going to London is something that he was wanting to do, and she really wanted to go to Miami.
Into a house.
Mm-hmm.
So have an apartment, and then we were like, maybe just move here for a year. And then once we got here, we were like, no, this is dope.
Yeah.
So we have the dog picked up. Golden Retriever. We're gonna name Mellow. So we're gonna get a house. So we can have a backyard. Because I have 2 dogs, and then we're gonna have 3. So we're planning on staying here for a while. I just hope we get the opportunity to do that. Sorry.
Once again, you don't have to apologize.
Hopefully I'm over freaking out and like I'll be able to see him or whatever. But I don't see it. I will keep it together.
Okay. So how about before we go into like the details of what happened today, okay, I have to swear you in and read you a couple other paperwork. Is this normal process for everybody, with victims, witnesses, everybody. Okay, so
So I got a chance to talk to Christian today.
to who?
Christian.
Oh,
I'm
the victim.
they haven't told me his name
I
yet.
don't know if I'm the victim. He's definitely the victim. What'd you say?
No, he didn't know his name, so he was confused. I was the one that went to the scene.
Didn't even know the victim's name. So basically, they're interviewing her about a situation that ultimately she stabbed him, but yet they didn't know the victim name was Christian. Now think about that for a second. They automatically assumed from their perspective on how they're treating her, how nice they're treating her, they automatically gave her a kind of victim status. And I think ultimately that's kind of the way this interview went because even after they told her, which is much later in the video, that he passed away, they still treated her as the victim.
I just assume everybody knows everything.
Yeah,
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Not always.
Will I get a chance to talk to him?
We'll see once.
If he.
We'll see once we're done with everything. Talking and with the scene and seeing what's the update with him. And then we'll definitely get you an answer later. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So, this is an investigation into, what do we call it, a domestic dispute, which occurred at 3131 Northeast 7th Avenue, apartment 2201. In reference to case number,
Yeah, sorry. It's going to be 22 00 23743.
the City of Miami Police Incident Number. Okay. This statement is being taken in the City of Miami Police Department, the investigation office, which is located at 400 Northwest 2nd Avenue, Miami-Dade County, Florida. Okay. Okay. You raise your right hand. Okay. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, put your hand up. Real quick, have you taken any alcohol or medication or narcotics today?
No.
No.
I have just like medicine, but nothing that was mind altering.
Oh, okay. Like what?
I actually don't know what it's called. It's a new medication just for.
What's the medication for? If you don't mind me asking. What is your level of education? Was the last grade or did you graduate?
From college.
From college? Okay. What college was that?
ACC and Santa Monica Community College.
How long of school did you do there? Approximately.
It's like at each one, well, ACC about a year and a half, I think. Santa Monica like a semester or two.
Okay.
It was never for me.
Okay. Do you have you been diagnosed with any mental disability or anything like that? No? Okay. All right, I'm going to move over to this one. Okay. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer or advice before we ask any questions. You have the right to have a lawyer with you during questioning. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish.
See, this is where I would have lawyered up right here.
His rights,
I just would have lawyered up right here.
and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand each of these rights I've explained to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Would I be able to talk to my father?
Huh?
Because he's pretty much acts as my
Wouldn't it be better if a leather holster could lock? With limited carry options, responsible gun owners know the frustrations.
attorney with like
Is he
not
an
like
attorney?
like this. Obviously, I've never been in this kind of
Is he an attorney?
situation. No. He's just he's he just
Well, we'll give you a chance
we know what
to.
to do.
We'll give you a chance to talk to your father later. Okay.
I mean, before I just feel like I don't know. I mean, I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine, and I will be fine. I mean, there's no need, but I just want to talk to somebody.
No worries. I'm gonna be able to give you some time to talk to your dad or with anybody that you need to talk to. Okay.
I want to go. I want to go home and see my dogs, and I want to go to the hospital. Will I be able to do that tonight?
We took care of the dogs. We found someone. I believe your mom mentioned that's taken care of them before when you traveled. So
11 pots. Yeah.
yeah, so we got able to get a hold of them, and they're actually gonna be taking it over there. Just so you know. So they're taken care of. They're in good hands. They're probably actually already there now. Okay, so we took care of those. Because I know they were seen or going back and forth. We seemed a little, Yeah. I know how dogs are. We're all dog lovers here. Our brothers, we also have dogs. So that's like family, and we took care of them. Just so you know,
yeah, the female officer that was over there was talking to my mom and trying to get
the one
the
that was
food.
able.
Thank God.
So they're in good hands.
Thank you. I want.
This is this is what policing and work is in America. Oftentimes, as I stated, a lot of factors kind of played into this into her favor, and the Miami Police Department really should also even the court system, the judicial system, they should be more or less ashamed of themselves because they really let this situation go. Now, I wonder on how many occasions does this type of situation happen where there's not that much of a public outcry. I'm sure it happens quite a bit. Um, but the, the purpose of me showing this piece was more so about just showing how uh, certain individuals are treated in the American criminal justice system versus, let's say, how you and I are treated. If you look at the situation with Atiana Jefferson, who was a person that ultimately was murdered by police officer Aaron Dean, October 12th, 2019. Aaron Dean and police officers in this particular situation where they fire the weapons oftentimes plays judge, jury, and executioner at the same time. And this is kind of a perfect example which the Miami Police Department didn't know that someone ultimately would do an open records request and request this information to kind of get an entire inside look on how their investigation process works. Now, many times, often, if you're familiar with First 48 shows um, a different size, particularly when they're interviewing other people from other demographics. You can see how aggressive those detectives are, and these are homicide detectives, and so it's interesting to see how they're interacting with her on a very calm, very subtle type of way. And again, ultimately, they tell her at the end of this, they tell her that he's passed away. She even brought an attorney in the room who basically advised her that. But at the end of this interrogation, if that's what you want to call it, I say it was more of an interview process. She was ultimately let go. This is very unfortunate. So many brothers, I'm sure, in Dade County, other parts of Miami, the whole state of Florida, obviously would be treated a lot differently. And so I just kind of want to get an inside peek because we oftentimes talk about how investigations would happen a certain kind of way if it was other people involved, particular minority groups that would be involved. And if we look at this case, she's treated very calmly, with a lot of respect, what you'll see in this interview is that ultimately she has a little bit of the victim's blood. She's not even the victim. She has a little bit of the victim's blood running down her leg, and they so calmly and so happily get up and assist her with the with that with that particular issue, and offer her a way to clean herself up. But I just wanted to kind of propose this. We'll watch a little bit more of this. I just want to kind of propose this as an inside look on exactly what's going on in these interrogation room, exactly what's going on behind the scenes in the American judicial system, and ultimately that's allowing people to get off of crimes that you and I definitely would be in jail before, that you and I definitely would be punished probably to the max, you know, especially in counties like Dade County for sure. So let's just get a couple more moments of look and see what's going on.
I went to my mom for an hour on the phone, and I want to go sit at the hospital. Am I going to be able to do that?
So for right now, I can't give you an answer. Okay, we just have to go through everything. Because remember, this just happened, so I can't really give you a straight answer. If I do, I would be lying to you, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to lie to you.
Okay.
Okay. Just as well as I don't want you to lie to me. I don't want to lie to you. We want to be able to understand everything that went down today. Okay. As truthful as we can be. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Having these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to us?
Mm. Yeah. If I don't, what's happened?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's your choice. It's your right. But at the end of the day, we just want to figure out what happened. Okay. We just want to hear your side of the story and what occurred, so we can piece this together and come to an understanding. Yeah.
Yeah, fortunately we weren't there. You were, so there's no better person to tell than you.
And it took so long for I don't know what I honestly, it was such a blur. I was on the phone with my mom. I don't know.
Thanks for me right over here.
Yeah, you can be.
Probably before this, most of us in this situation know better. This is time to lawyer up, and basically request to speak to a lawyer. And probably when they first bring you into the room, this is a perfect ample time and situation to actually lawyer up. Anything that you say obviously can be used against you in the court of law. Obviously, you see this interview process is recorded. So all of this will go into the evidence that the district attorney will have in order to help a grand jury and also help a jury or a judge come to a decision of conviction and or uh, Senate stipulation. So kind of just keep all this. All this was kind of playing an influential role, and so you don't want to give opportunities to people that are not working on your side, opportunities to be able to capitalize on your ignorance or your emotional decision, if you will. And as you see here, she's sort of emotional, so she's not thinking as rational as she probably should be. Um, and so I just kind of wanted to express that even though these officers here are detectives, they are being very cordial with her and basically want to just keep her talking as much as they possibly can. And so the way they're going about doing this interview process is obviously very strategic. Is to get her to talk, and they want her to feel as comfortable as well. Notice the bottle there on the table. They gave her the bottle so she can drink. I'm sure if she wanted to have some McDonald's or Burger King or something like that, they probably would have gotten that for her as well, just to keep her comfortable, keep her talking. And since she's emotional, they know that they want her to talk as much as possible about the situation. And again, this is designed obviously to lend an effort towards the prosecution. Doesn't help your defense at all. It doesn't help your defense. And we are taught most often is that talking to the police oftentimes helps mitigate certain levels of criminal prosecution when actually it doesn't. And in fact, it does nothing more than actually enhance, uh, the likelihood that more than likely you will face some sort of criminal prosecution or whatnot. And so I just wanted to say that just because I know many of us a few of us, I should say, have kind of been in this type of situation. We know the pressures that goes on in these types of situations, but there are people that don't know and will instantly think that because of the demeanor of the officers that's presented in this room, that the officers are going to be their friend. And even though ultimately they're cordial with her, even though they're nice to her, and ultimately they let her walk out of the room and out of the police station, a free woman pending investigation. In most instances and situations, they are not your friend. So just keep that in mind.
Take your time, read it again. Same thing.
This is why I would like to call my dad and say, can I just do this? Or should I have to get a lawyer? Because I realize, like, how very serious this is. Like, I mean, I was sitting there in a freaking puddle of my boyfriend's blood, begging him to, like, please not like, fucking give up on me. Like, man, like, this shit is fucking serious. So, I mean, I don't think I'm necessarily in trouble, but, like, I just would like to.
I mean,
can I just talk to him? I mean, I have, this happened, and I was, the whole situation happened, and I haven't talked to anybody who means anything.
No, I understand. Right now,
okay,
right
well,
now,
you know what? What?
No, just.
I've never been in this kind of situation.
You can talk to him later. Because.
But before I talk to you guys, why can't I talk to him beforehand?
Well, because I would like to understand what's going on.
I know, but like if I say, hey, is it cool if I sign a constitutional rights waiver
because
when my boyfriend has
like,
like
not a lawyer.
Yeah, if you're an adult, if you were a minor,
he would be the one who would.
If
he
you were
handles
under
my
18,
lawyer too.
If you were under 18, then yeah, I would provide you a phone call to your father. But you're over 18, so.
I don't feel like it. I'm going to tell my parents.
I get you. But I feel the same way with my parents, you know. I still go to them too for questions that they've dealt with in the past.
Okay.
You know?
My dad handles I am so freaking out right now a little bit. Like I want to go to the hospital and I want to just call my fucking mom. And I know that I do not get that right. I know it. But here's the thing, is that this is constitutional rights waiver. My dad handles my lawyer. I'm not going to take a court-appointed lawyer. My dad handles my lawyer. I would not be calling my dad the first person to it, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I've never been in a situation like this where somebody's in the hospital. I've never been in this kind of situation. That's why, like, I don't want to do anything wrong. You know?
I mean, it's your decision at the end of the day. But
what happens if not?
If not, then that's it. We don't talk about what happened to him. We just have to take the stories that we've been told from the people next door and previous situations, and try and narrow it down to what happened today.
You get a much better picture, a much better idea coming from you who was there today than us trying to piece it together from other people that weren't in there, you know. There's no better story to get than yours was there. So which is why we prepare from you. But you know, like you said, it's your decision if you want to or not. But for us to obviously proceed and make a better decision for all of us, it's getting your story, you know. You were there. You know, you were so you
my boyfriend is not dead, is he?
Well, he can't talk to us right now either way. He's in the hospital.
Jack is a homicide.
Yeah, so I don't know.
That's like the Dexter vibe. All of the things are like.
To you on scene. It's Sunday, so Sunday domestic violence scenes don't work. So we handle their calls anytime we get into domestic violence calls. We handle it for them, and so that's why we were raised.
Can I go and come back?
No, unfortunately. It's steps, you know. Once we handle this, and we'll go to the next step.
Is there a chance I'm gonna go home tonight?
I have a definite answer for you.
Okay, well, I'll just.
So the time is
I need to.
8 p.m.
There's blood on my.
All right. So let's start from the start. You guys will take out your dogs to the park, right? And then what happens after that?
Like I said, a little bit blur.
Yeah.
I was doing laundry
Mhm.
and watching a Christina Randall or listening to a Christina Randall video, and tried to call my mom. She did the first time, and then he came back with a Subway sandwich. Before he left, he recited exactly what I wanted. I said, I'll text what I want to you. And he said, I know what you want. I said, no, you don't. He recited it to me before he left. And he got it perfectly right.
Okay.
And then he left. I guess he went to go bike over there. That's just what he said. I don't know if he walked or biked, but he told me he's going to bike personally.
Like a bicycle?
Yeah.
Okay.
He came back. And I said something about like, oh, are you going to like reshare your location with me? Like, did you want to share it? And he said, yeah, I shared it. And I was like, oh, when did you do that? And he was the other day, like when you were done with me. And I was like, okay, well, fair enough. And, like, reshare it. And then he told, it kind of like turned into like a little like argument or something. And then he told me to reshare mine, and I was like, okay, yeah, I will. And then I didn't do it immediately. He asked me about it again. And I don't know what I was thinking, but just said something about, well, what if
Live streaming can be tricky, and sometimes trying to find the right software.
I'm somewhere you don't want me to be?
Okay.
Which I wouldn't have been. I love him. But it's like, maybe you don't want to know where I am. I guess maybe they'll just like hurt him because he was pressing me. And he ended up pinning me against the wall. And then, I said like choking me on the floor. It's just like, they were looking at my neck and I was like, I'm not saying like choking me like, whatever. But he had my like neck, and this happened twice before, where I couldn't breathe and I was on the floor. Yeah. I could not breathe. And I don't think that he was trying to kill me, but I was scared. And all 3 times I have been scared. So yeah, I'm on the floor in heavy pins and lets me up. I'm on the, get my mom on the phone. And I'm just trying to remember. I got my mom on the phone. And I remember she was sitting like against the couch. Like we were obviously it was a big deal at this point. So, and somehow moved like over in the living room. We stand by the couch. He's for the kitchen. I was in the kitchen. And then you could see like all the lights in his eyes, and it was like coming at me. And so I grabbed one of these knives. My mom got me for Christmas. I grabbed one of them. And I was like, I swear to God. I swear to God. It was just like, I would be like, don't come anywhere closer to me. Because earlier, I was having 2 other times I couldn't fucking breathe. I'm sorry. I couldn't breathe. And it's very scary. And I just think just like this kind of thing where I was saying, like, do you know if he's okay? If he's choking me breathe enough, he might like, or, I mean, this is different, I think. But if he's like shaky or like pain or something and I can't breathe, he might go too long. So I grab my, sorry, I grab a knife. I said, don't come anywhere closer to me. I had absolutely no intention of using it. I'm on the phone with my mom, and he's coming at me like he's gonna grab either the phone or like the knife or something. And so I was just like, I was like, don't come any closer. It's coming at me, and I threw it. And I meant for it to go.
How far away was he?
Well, I was by my fridge, and he was like by the edge of one of the chairs of the sofa.
Okay.
Like
comparing to what
10 feet. I'm trying to think in my head. I'm trying to make the.
Was he closer than I am?
No, but he's further.
Or like what, like the length of his room?
No, further than that.
Okay.
Oh, well, if I said, yeah, you're right. It was more than 10 feet then. It was definitely further than that.
Okay.
It's closer. It looks a lot smaller than it is here.
It was further than that.
Okay. So then you were by the fridge and he was by the couch? You were by the fridge and he was by the couch?
Yes, I was in front of the fridge. He was by the couch.
Yes. And then
behind my island.
Then what kind of movements did he make that he at the moment? He was gonna walk
running
up?
At me.
Running? Okay.
Well, charging, aggressively walking, something.
What was he doing? Like, was he doing something with his hands or?
Doing his hands up. I couldn't tell you exactly.
Was he yelling at you at the time?
Yes.
Yeah. What was he saying?
Well, so I put my hand up, so I really need to like think. So. Yeah, I remember one of the things, but I don't think it's relevant.
No, go ahead, tell me. It might be relevant. It might help me understand this a little more.
He said, why don't you go find one of the fucking guys in G-Wagons? Because I had said something about that when I broke up with him like a week ago. Out of anger. I didn't say it because I want that, because I love him.
Uh-huh.
But it was just one of the things that you said.
Was that at the moment that he was charging you or earlier in one of the arguments?
It was before he choked me. Yes, it was before he choked me.
Okay.
Or whatever.
So he gets.
So no, not right then. I couldn't tell you exactly what said right then.
Okay. So.
But I swear to God, I was scared. I mean, after like what I was scared, and I was on the phone with my mom, and it was still happening.
Yeah.
I was scared.
So you told me that he had you against the wall at one point, right? With the hands over your neck.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you end up from the wall to the ground?
Let me go.
Uh-huh.
Let me go, and then I started swinging on him because I had been against the wall.
Okay.
I started trying to hit him.
Yeah.
And then he put me on the ground.
He dropped you to the ground. What did he do? Like, did he like lift you up, or did he grab your hair? Did he just kind of like rotate you onto the ground?
I really couldn't even tell you.
He pushed you.
If I could have like been given all these questions, I could be like, let me think about it. Or when I'm trying to remember like a whole situation of where I was very upset about something, which I've learned this in therapy or whatever. It's like write down like all the details so you don't forget. Just like write it all out clearly so that it makes sense to you and makes sense to somebody else. But I haven't had a chance to have a pen and paper or my phone to like write down exactly what happened. And I haven't really even like fully thought about it. So honestly, my answer is I don't know.
I guess the funny thing about this situation, or I should say not so funny, is that shortly after she murdered her boyfriend, Christian, which in this particular video, she's kind of feigning self-defense. It says that the OnlyFans model, Courtney Clenny, bought a lavish Texas home down the street from her parents a $1.35 million home soon after fatally stabbing her boyfriend in Miami. Um, so uh, this kind of shows you kind of the psychology of the person. It says the purchase came 2.5 months after the social media star stabbed cryptocurrency Christian Obiselli on April 3rd, severing an artery leading to his death. Um, so yeah, so this is kind of the mindset that she had. She just immediately after the situation went about her, as it stated in this article. I'm reading the New York Post. Stated she went about a lavish home, not a concern in the world for Christian, not a concern about his family or what they may be experiencing. And I believe shortly before her arrest, she was on a vacation trip to Hawaii, which a lot of people thought that that was just like a grave contradiction for her to have murdered this person, feigned self-defense. The police department actually kind of go down that rabbit hole following her side of the case just for tons and thousands, 100,000, maybe even millions of people had complaints about how this process took place because they basically gave favor to her, more or less kind of being the phenotype for the Karen, so to speak, and basically allowed her to walk free while her boyfriend at the time went in, 6 feet deep, etc. And as of this moment, hasn't received any justice. Although she is currently locked up just due to public outcry, there still hasn't been any justice. And so I wanted to kind of put this case back on the table to try to educate as many people. For number one, I want us to see how the inside of this how we'll question uh, by the detectives when these type of criminal cases are going on, and two, just seeing the potential favor that she had received from them, even though they had mountains and mountains of evidence otherwise that she actually was the aggressor. They still let her walk free. I do encourage you all to kind of look into this case again. Courtney Clenny, uh, Clenney. Again, this happened on April 3rd, 2022. This is still a current case, still ongoing. This is the interview. The interview obviously was just picked up by a couple of outlets just a few days ago. So there's a lot of information that's still out there about this case. A lot of people still follow this case, and I want you to ultimately consider following it too, just so you can kind of see what happens in the end. Is Christian ever going to receive justice, or is Courtney's phenotype or presence, is that going to be enough to more or less get her off, of this particular case, a dismissed case or hung jury or something of that nature? We'll have to wait and see. But I appreciate you. Let's keep sharing the information. Let's stay educated.